Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Welcome back to High Rating Spectate. Today we are in 300 LP EU West Master. We're watching Kayle. The reason being is Kayle is, people keep saying, is one of the winning champions of the the new patch, the durability update, because it allows easier scaling to her late game hyper carry phase. I do play Kayle, but I just haven't really gotten around to play one yet. So what I thought I'd do is watch a really good Kayle, see how they do, and oh, nice W by Jhin. This is probably a dead Akali, because again, this Akali's done the kind of, I don't know if you want to call it a cocky thing, but not taking flash. You know, you can get punished for not taking flash, and that's what's happened there. But what is interesting me in this game, again, we're 300 LP Master. She's against an Aurelia mid. Now, Aurelia is getting buffed in the upcoming patch. And I know some people, even in my own Twitch chat, have been like, Huz, what do you think of Aurelia getting patched? Here's the thing. I've not seen an Aurelia on modern patch. I've literally not seen one. There's usually, in higher rating, if you don't see a champion, there's a reason you don't see a champion. Is that maybe they're not very good. But Aurelia is always one of my Kryptonite champions. And I do like Kayle. So this is going to be an interesting dynamic for me to see how does a Kayle potentially do well against an Aurelia, who is a an early game stomping mid laner. Hello, Pengu, how you doing, my friend? So yeah, that's kind of the vibe of what we want to see, is just see how the Kayle does against an Aurelia. So probably a fairly passive early game, I'd imagine. Nothing risky. Probably won't actively be looking to take fights, because why would you? It's not the fact that just Aurelia has the early game advantage with her passive and the damage. It's also she's running Ignite as well. So Kayle's running TP. So here you go. This is the thing. Just a little engage here for the Aurelia. Half health Kayle. So straight away half health. That's not good. Bot lane looks to be an absolute fiesta right now. Karma gets a solo kill on Ezreal. But yeah, so pretty passive in the early game. What I'm really looking forward, by the way, to try and see from this commentary is there a flick of the switch where the Kayle starts to kind of go, I can fight you? Is that at level 6? Is that after level 6? Is that, after getting their first item? That's kind of what I'm really going to try and pay attention to. This is a very weird dive. Okay. What? So that's odd. I'm genuinely, again, we're in Master 300 LP watching this game. The Aurelia will be of very similar rank, I'd imagine. In what world would have that gone well? Remember, at the moment, towers are very strong. They are actually nerfing the tower damage in the upcoming patch as well. I actually like that the tower damage is very, very high. But yeah, in what world was that going to go well for the Aurelia there? That's very odd. So let's be honest, that's a freebie that the Kayle just got that they had no right getting. And that's really bad for Aurelia, because that's the Ignite advantage also gone too. So yeah, a bit of a weird dive. Kayle obviously choosing not to take TP. Big engage happening by blue team. Aurelia though getting a cleanup. Jhin is on the wrong side. Aurelia flashing over. Potentially a double kill. Gets a kill though, does Jhin. And Ezreal gets the kill. So a few people getting kills. Aurelia did recover. Got one kill there. But there we go. Thank you very much, Arch Cammy. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So Aurelia does get a little bit of strength there. And obviously getting a kill also, and an assist will give XP. Do not forget about the XP that kills and assists do give. A lot of people do forget about those things. And they do, they ramp up, or they can catch you off guard, because a lot of people will judge XP based on how many minions people are killing and forget about kills and assists also. Those things, again, they do count to kill to XP. Because right now, with all these minions here, Kayle is behind on XP, no doubt. Oh, this could be bad. Really nice knock-up, but she does W it, so she avoids a lot of the damage. Will they chase for it? Look how passive the Kayle has to be. And the Utilia. You can't go near that Aurelia. If they stayed in auto-attack range there, potentially death would have happened. That's how scary Aurelia is in the early game, that she's in a 2v1 situation. She doesn't have Ignite up. She doesn't have Flash up. She's not level 6. They 2v1 have to be careful of an Aurelia. So, yeah. Aurelia did just disconnect, unfortunately. Invade happening, Lilia versus Tilia. Advantage so far looks to be Lilia, but is delaying. She's not died yet, and Kayle is on her way. Get to there for the W heal. Gets the heal off. Into the Q, into the E. Auto attack galore. and gets a nice sneaky kill there. So that's also very, very nice. Bit of a fiesta game, it has to be said, but I think that's just solo queue in a nutshell. So far, and this is what I would say about Kayle mid, is it's pretty standard from what we've seen, is, you know, the fact that she is losing lane, or like has to kind of give up pressure to an Aurelia, but she's had 2 freebie kills. The Aurelia tower dive was really weird, and she just got that freebie from the enemy invading the jungle. Those are the type of things you need to avoid giving a Kayle. And big shutdowns for the enemy team there. Now, one thing, obviously, there you go. I was about to say, the Aurelia did just disconnect. Presume she comes back. And there she comes back. So, yeah. But yeah, so far, nothing incredibly impressive about this Kayle, I will say. The only thing that is partially impressive is she hasn't died to an Aurelia yet because she's being careful. She's being smart. And she's got 2 freebie kills from playing okay. Obviously, the tower dive was a really free kill, and then the other free kill that she got here was because she did go help her jungler. She could have just stayed mid. There's many Kayles that would be, no, I'm just staying mid, I'm not getting involved. She did decide to go help, which is good. You should decide, you know, when it's that easy to go get pressure or help your jungler, you should leave and help. I did look like, by the way, I looked at the minimap there, I think a Kayle was trying to tower dive the Olaf. People are still trying to tower dive like crazy on modern patch. It's very weird. Level 6 Kayle advantage. Aurelia's got no flash. Again, bad decision making has to be said by the Aurelia. I think she's dead. Really also nice timing from the Kayle. One thing you'll notice that she does is as someone is just getting out of auto attack range, she uses the E. The reason why she does that is because it will give you that little bit extra oomph damage because you can constantly auto attack, and then the little bit of extra oomph damage is like the finishing off move. Olaf goes down in top lane, and I think Aurelia did just disconnect again, so maybe they're having maybe, you know, the weird play that we're seeing is a little bit of lag, possibly, and that's kind of adding to the weird decision making, so she's reconnecting to try and fix any lag that's going on. It can... Again, I'm very fortunate. I don't tend to have lag issues in League. Oh, another invade. This is very weird to me. But again, look at the jungle diff, by the way, is rank 5 Taliyah jungle versus, level 5 Taliyah jungle, level 7 Lilia. There's a 2-level difference in the jungle right now for the enemy advantage. That is a big advantage for the enemy team. Kayle coming top lane just to protect her jungler, and then just is going to farm under the tower. Because why not? Teleport happening, so weird teleport, so goes top lane to protect tower, protect Taliyah, and then teleports back to mid lane. Bit weird. I don't like that play because that to me is wasting your teleport a bit, but obviously it's to try and deny the tower plate for an Aurelia. But yeah, bit odd. Aurelia roaming bot lane. Enemy team could be in trouble here. Aurelia, I think, actually could have got looped around, and that would have been potentially better. Don't tower dive again. She's tower diving again. This Aurelia. I'm going to be honest. Her decision making is all wrong. She doesn't respect towers. And what I would say is what you're kind of potentially witnessing with this Aurelia is a player in this specific game that is playing like it's old patch. Hyper aggressive in the early game. Tower diving early, which, yeah, you could do on Aurelia. On old patch, the patch before, you could tower dive on Aurelia at level 3 and get a kill and survive quite easily. That was old Aurelia. You can't do that anymore. Like, that's the point. It's changed. She's trying to tower dive down here. You can't do that anymore. So, to me, what you're kind of witnessing is an Aurelia that is playing like it's old patch, she hasn't updated her playstyle, which is very interesting to watch. I personally like that we're seeing this, because to me it was ridiculous that you could get tower dove by an Aurelia at level 3. She could kill you, and she could then survive at level 3. That doesn't feel very healthy. What do you guys think? Let me know. Kayle doing the chase down. Lilia level 8. Gonna get the movement speed, and she'll just kind of run away. But yeah. What rank is this guy on Kayle? I'm not quite sure. Whoa, Lilia going hyper aggro. Gets the triple ulti. Ezreal going to do some DPS. Kayle, again, maximizing auto attacks with the DPS. Look at... Oh, I was going to say, look at the aggression on that Kayle. She got surprised by the damage of Ezreal because she didn't ult. Senna in trouble. is going to go down just. Kayle top lane, by the way, has roamed down from top. Ezreal looking pretty strong. Has to back off eventually, though. And by the way, that is a roamed Kayle. She hasn't teleported down. She's run down. That's a bit weird to see, especially when there's no dragon or anything. That's odd. Nash's Tooth are first to build. First by thingy. As for the Kayle, I will get you her rank momentarily, if I can find it. I don't think it's very impressive. Oh, sorry, my throat. Ow. Yeah, this Kayle isn't insanely well ranked on Kayle. All I looked for was a good replay of high quality. This player is actually an AD carry player by the look of it, not a Kayle player. But I will say, because of the recent patch and everyone talking about how strong Kayle is, a lot of people have picked up Kayle in the recent patch because of the strength that the champion has. So anyway, so 2-level advantage for Kayle. Early ulti. I don't like that ulti. Didn't need to use it at that point. She could have held it. But honestly, I'd probably... Yeah, go for it, Get Frenzy. She probably early ulted in that situation because she just died to not ulting. So that's probably what you're kind of seeing there, is the mentality of, oh, I didn't ult last time and I died. I'm going to ult early this time. It happens. Aurelia looking aggro on the Kayle. Gets bounced into the mines, gets auto-attack to death, and there you go. So the Aurelia playing 2 aggro. Yeah, 1-5. But again, it has to be said that this Aurelia did arguably just was beating... And again, the Lydia's playing hyper aggro all the time too. You're just seeing the enemy team be too aggressive. You know, they're really far behind. The Lilia keeps invading constantly. The Aurelia is constantly fighting, which I will say, the Aurelia... I don't blame her for constantly fighting because she is a early game champion against a hyper carry champion. She has to try and stop the Kayle's snowballing. Otherwise, the game is probably pretty much over. But yeah, we're just seeing too many mistakes too often, is what I would say in this game for the enemy team. But again, very, you know, just nice Kayle play. Again, Kayle isn't the most difficult champion in the world. I think most people would agree. Kayle is try your best to do as well as you can early, and you'll eventually become a monster. That's Kayle. So, yeah. Gonna go back, probably tier 2 boots. Yep, Berserker update. So there you go. And then, are we buying anything else? Just an Amp Tome. Has that Dark Seal on the go. Shut down. The Ezreal is becoming very strong, by the way. So, and I will say... Thanks, Crowfoot, dude. I've actually been seeing a few very strong Ezreals on recent patch. That champion seems to be doing very well right now. But obviously, it's always the same with Ezreal. Ezreal is limited a lot by the player. I know that probably sounds dumb because that's technically true for every champion. But a good Ezreal, or say, let's say an average Ezreal, meanwhile Aurelia dies again, an average Ezreal is not the same as an average Jinx or an average Kai'Sa. It is much harder to be good at Ezreal than it is the other AD carries. Kayle, though, does get another kill. So again, a lot of freebie kills, 7-1-2, fantastic score in early game Kayle. Lilia, as we've seen already this game, being a very hyper-aggressive, trying to get, you know, run down the very fed Kayle. Obviously, the Kayle has a bounty, so you would want that gold. But the Kayle not wanting to back out. Should go aggressive. Gets the first hit into the kill. Nice team play there. And another freebie kill for Kayle. The enemy team just isn't respecting it, which is to me bizarre for the rating that we're watching. 300 LP. But the Ezreal, very strong. Gets a big shutdown. Is he going to go down? We will see. Does get 4th shotted. There you go. Get Frenzy. Thank you so much, dude, for the 2 gifted subs. And again, I believe that is for a Rel donation, which I will add to the list momentarily after we watch this game. Again, hopefully Rel, I do like the champion of Rel. Hopefully in the durability update, hopefully Rel is actually in a good place. I don't know if she is. We'll find out when we play it, I guess. Aurelia potentially roaming down. Kayle going to stay mid lane for tower pressure, which I think is the right decision because Jin's already dead. There's no point going down there anymore. Will do, Marque. Aurelia coming back to lane. 3-level advantage now for Kayle. Aurelia hits a stun and knows, oh, I can't even fight you now, even if I land a stun. That is how far ahead this Kayle is, and that is a absolute disaster for an Aurelia. So, in essence, what I wanted from this game so far, how has the, you know, Kayle gotten ahead? Has there been anything particular that I can take from this game? The answer is not really. It's basically using the enemy's mistakes against them. That's it. because that's all that's been. The Kayle's not done really any major outplays. The Kayle's been a lot of the time in the right place at the right time. That's the biggest thing that you can take away from this Kayle's gameplay. Good ult. Into the auto attacks. Enemy team is just like gifting kills all the time. Triple kill Kayle. Lovely good damage early. And they're all dead. So realistically, the best thing that we can take away from this Kayle is play smart. Don't risk anything early. The Kayle didn't risk anything early. She played pretty passive and let the kills come to her. But she also, naturally, she's getting involved. She isn't just staying mid lane, I'm Kayle, I'm power farming, the end. She is roaming a bit. She is walking into her own jungle to protect her own jungler. She's done that quite a bit. That's the point. She's getting involved. And every time that she's getting involved, she's getting 1 kill. She's getting 2 kills. And that's what you don't want a Kayle to have. So that's how this Kayle is actually pretty damn fed. It's not really great play. It's smart decision making, which, you know, you can add as great play, obviously. But it's more decision making than anything else. So that's kind of what I'm getting from this Kayle is play passive, don't risk anything early, don't give unnecessary deaths. You know, the Kayle wasn't even fighting the Aurelia in lane phase. Every time the Aurelia would go in, the Aurelia was backing away. She wasn't fighting the Aurelia at all. That's the thing that you need to take away from this game. Because a lot of people will see, oh, dude, she's 11-1. She must have been fighting and getting fed like really early into the game. No, she didn't. She played passive and got given 3 kills. But she only got given those 3 kills because she was aware of what was going on and she moved to the parts of the map she needed to get those 3 kills. Because a lot of them, you know, she had the first one was free under her own tower. Most of the other kills were not in mid. She's been getting them from other parts of the map. Enemy team going aggressive. Well, Akali going aggressive because she was caught out. Akali still basically one-banging. Akali basically nearly two-shot 2 people. And that is a not fed Akali. Only has 1 item, basically. And she killed Kayle and also nearly killed Karma. That is kind of nuts how much damage that Akali just dealt, by the way. Like, just to point that out. That is a ridiculous amount of damage. Because, again, the myth of assassins being weak is... yeah, not true. Assassins are actually pretty damn strong at still. Free kill for Olaf there. So yeah, this game obviously has become a bit of a crazy stomp. But it's kind of what I wanted to witness. It was like, how does Kayle do well against an Aurelia? Potentially. So what I will say is I will play Kayle myself. She is a champion that is... what number? So... she's my 4th most played champion this season. Anivia, unsurprisingly, is number 1. Anivia, then Ahri, then Xerath, then Kayle, then Veigar. Those are my top 5. So I will play a Kayle game. Build-wise, another thing I want to just check. Looks identical to what it used to be. Nashor's Omni Rift Maker. She's obviously got a Medjay this game because of the nature of the game, but most games you're not having a Medjay. Enemy team overextending, not really sure why. 3 kills for Kayle all day long. Akali doing her E thing, trying to trick the enemy team, but does get killed by the Jhin, which is nice. Jhin ultimate coming down. Aurelia, nice hit there, gets the slow. Don't know if it's going to translate to anything. Hits the W, but then Senna also gets the knock up. Really nice by that Talia. But there we go. Yes, they're also worth knowing there are 2 different builds to Kayle as well. So there's this standard build, I'd call it, the AP-centric build. There is an AD carry-centric build too. That doesn't mean you play it as an AD carry in bot lane, but if your team randomly is full AP, there is an AD carry build that, again, you can go Kraken Slayer, Ginsu's, Blade of the Ruined King. That build does exist, and it definitely has a place. It arguably is better against tanks as well. But here we go. Enemy team going to look for a bit of aggression. Kayle dodging as much as she can. Lilia, again, very fast champion. Enemy team being counted engage on. Killing spree. Double kill for Kayle. Double kill so far. Can it go into anything else? Akali going to go down. Triple kill, question mark? Triple kill so far. Can it be a quad? Yes, it can. Quadra kill. Officially or not officially? Official quadra kill. Can it be a penta? It can be a penta. It can be. It's not a penta. Sag. No penta. Question by Hawkeye is, what do I think about Omnivamp in the game? Was it better to leave it as Spellvamp and Lifesteal? I believe so, yes. I don't think Omnivamp is very healthy. It's always going to be hard to balance. I think it's a lot easier and a lot healthier to balance if you separate the two. That's what I would say. But there is it. That is obviously a very stompy game of League of Legends. Obviously, I normally don't typically do crazy stomps in high rating spectate. This was potentially a bit too stompy, but we've witnessed very strong Kayle, very good damage in the early game, even for not many items. And realistically, nothing special mechanically. It's more using the mistakes of the enemy team against them and being at the right place at the right time. That is ultimately what this Kayle did and ended very, very fed. So there you go. If you guys enjoyed for what this was, do throw a like on the video. If there is other champions that you want me to watch on modern day patch, please do leave them in the comment section below. But that's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal peace.